What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Pitts. I am your host, Pitts Sports Zone, Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio. Bowie TV is coming to you live. Listen, this is the 2024 season is about to kick off, and this guest is no stranger. In fact, he's one of the coaches that I started having more developed relationship with. And last year we did the whole season. Well, we started late in the season, but y'all already know what it is. Listen, let's go, Bobby Mo. I don't say it like he do.
What's up, Pitch?
What's going on, Coach? How are you doing, man?
I'm doing well, man. Everything's feeling great. We're feeling great about everything, man. How you doing?
I can't complain, man. I can't complain. Life is life, but I'm still above. I'm still above ground, so I'm still here for a reason.
Hey, man, enjoy the process. Is what I told you before. It don't make a difference if a good process, bad process. Just enjoy the process.
Right. So listen, Coach, we about to just go ahead and jump right on into this
Let's
thing.
do it. Let's do
No, so new conference, Northeast Conference. You're back to your old stomping grounds. This is a clean slate, if you will. Um, you know, what is the thoughts now that you've gotten recruiting and um, transfers? Now that you actually are honed in and you're practicing for a game this week, how does that feel?
Feels outstanding. I've been telling the coaches, to be totally honest with you, Pitch, man, I haven't been this excited about a football season since I was back at the University of Pittsburgh in 2010. And I thought we had an opportunity to do something big. We ended up winning the Big East Conference Championship. So it's one of those situations where I'm excited about our guys. I don't know how it's going to turn out. I don't know if we're going to win, lose. I have no idea. I'm just excited about the young men that we brought in. This is the second year that I got brought every coach back. This is the second time I've done that. Second time I did it was the first time I did it was in 2019. So every coach is back. Everyone's excited. Everybody's on board. And the schools, they're behind us 100%. So excitement's in the air.
What are you most looking forward to for this week's start of the season? What is matter of fact? Before we go any further, what is our word of the week?
Our word of the week is mindset. Our
Yeah,
word of the week is mindset. Just making sure we have the proper mindset as we get ready to go out to Utah State. And not only that, getting into practice this week, making sure we have the right mindset. So Tuesday's practice didn't go too well. So we didn't have the right mindset. So I wasn't real happy about that. And I kind of lit into them a little bit on Wednesday to get their minds right. And today's practice, to clean up, making sure everything's polished, looked a whole lot better. So just want to make sure everything's on a positive note. But this week is mindset.
when you talk about mindset and you talk about the shifting from spring ball to fall practice to now where the games are actually here and they matter, what is the switch that needs to click? Because starting at the beginning of this week, I'm pretty sure a lot of folks were involved mentally, but might not have clicked or switched altogether. So when you talk about mindset in that regard, how does that accompany for your players?
I think what it boils down to is helping them understand we need to play clean. We're going into a place where we're playing an FBS opponent. So what I mean by clean is can't have a whole lot of turnovers, whole lot of personal fouls, offsides, and all those things. Got to play a clean game. Can't have a whole lot of missed assignments. Got to play well against this team and compete. Get on the field and compete. But we got to do that during the week. It's not something that's just going to happen on Saturdays. So all week we've been preaching to our guys about, hey, being positive, being on sides, make sure you're not doing any dumb penalties, nothing dumb, hold on to the ball, no picks. So all those things are going to have to come to fruition in order for us to win this football game. We know it's an uphill battle. Whenever you go against an FBS opponent who has 85 scholarships and you only have 45 scholarships, you're in a tough situation. But we feel like for the last 4 years, we prepared as a team who's had less scholarships than everyone else in the league. So we fought through that. So we could hopefully we'll fight through this and get where we need to be at.
Absolutely. And what are some of the things that you're most looking forward to throughout the rest of this week? Before y'all
I
head
tell
out.
you what, Pierce, man, it's so crazy. We went out and we got a couple of receivers. We had some good receivers here. Andre Cooper and Kyle Holloway, James Westry, and those guys, Parker Fetterman. We went out and got some receivers, some transfer guys, man, that have just kind of showed up in practice. We got a young man by the name of Carl Smith who came from Lafayette, another young man by the name of Sean Charles who came from Arizona State, and we're looking forward to those two guys mixing with Noah Robinson and getting some things going along with Terrell Ridgely. and getting that receiving core going. But we brought in a good running game. Our running game, like I told you before, we brought in the leading rushers for the NEC and Tavon Edmonds. We brought him in, from Merrimack. And we also brought a young man in, from Delaware Valley, who's been a surprise for all of us. I mean, he's a hard runner, runs downhill. We lost Cyrus, so he kind of takes the place of Cyrus. His name is Julian White, and he's getting after it. We still got DJ Moyer. So I'm looking forward to see what our offense could do. Now, we lost some of our pieces on the offensive line. Some of the guys are a little nicked up and can't go this week. Our big guy, Ryan O'Hara, he can't go, but got a big transfer by the name of Jaden Rowling, who's coming from Villanova, bringing a lot of experience to the table. So he's going to do some great things for us. We're getting our other piece of the puzzle back in Hayden Barron. He's our top offensive lineman, been starting ever since he was a true freshman, and he just busts his behind and everything he does. So that leader from the O-line is back. So we're feeling good about some things, and Chicken's under the center, for the second time, and, he's starting again, and we're getting some things rolling. So I'm looking forward to that offense, putting some things together and moving up and down the field. But you know me, I'm a defensive guy. So I'm looking forward to our defense just lighting it up. I just want to see who's going to make some hard hits, who's going to do some great things. We got some DBs we're looking forward to getting and mixing some things up. Young man by the name of Jaquez, he's from Miami of Ohio. He's coming in here to help us out, get some things rolling. Young man by the name of Carter Odell. Unfortunately, Carter broke his nose in practice, so he won't be there for the first game, but I'm looking forward to see what he can do later on. And some of our oldies but goodies. We got Jamar Shagog. I love Jamar Shagog. He's been with us now for his 6th year. He's excited. He's a young man that came in at 185 pounds. He's up to 235 pure muscle. A linebacker. He's also a great leader on the team. And Tislam Muhammad, up front. And we get Parker Jacobs back, one of our defensive ends we really need, So we're excited about our football team. And Jason Jenkins, our kicker, he's got a year under his belt. He's excited about coming back. So we got some things that we're excited about. I know I'm rambling a little bit, but like I told you, I'm excited about this season.
No, that's good because we could touch on each one. Because we always talk about how football is it's a 3-tier game. You have your offensive, your defensive, and then your special teams. So when you talk about, we'll start with special teams, and you talk about Jenkins because you lose a good kicker from last year, but he was able to watch during that process. Can you talk about the importance of starting the season off in a way where special teams plays an effective role and doesn't take away from the process of the game?
Absolutely.
Situational football.
Absolutely. Well, Jason was with us last year. He didn't perform at the level we thought he was capable of performing at. So I'll give you a funny story. We're in practice one day and we're running a 2-minute drill, and offensive coordinator looks at me. He said, "What do we need to get the ball to in order for Jason to make the field goal?" Because with 2-minute drill, offense had to kick a field goal in order to win the game. I said, "Well, probably around a 25 or 30. I feel good about it." And we didn't get it that far, and it ended up being a 55-yard field goal. I think Jason looked over at me and put it through the uprights and looked right at me and was like, "No, you ain't got to get it nowhere near the 25." So 55-yard field goal. So his mindset is, hey, I'm going to do what I need to do to help us win this football game. And the thing about special teams, I talk about it every year with you, Pitch, it's a situation where we can't let it lose us games. We can't lose games on special teams. Got to make sure we're doing the proper things. Again, you got to play extremely clean on special teams. You can't get punch blocked. You can't have penalties. You can't have bad kicks and things like that. Got to play clean, especially against a team like Utah State. So we're going in, and with Jason having the confidence that he has, now we got a new punter, don't know much about him. Jason may have to do double duty this first game. We're not sure yet. The young man that came from an NAIA school, his name is Stephen Ernest. He's coming in, so we're not exactly sure what he can do. He's been doing well in practice, but and I know practice is totally different in a game time situation. And so Jason doesn't have those jitters that he had last year. He's excited about coming to this season.
Did you worry in a situation where your kicker may take more kicking duties that it may wear his leg a little bit during the game, depending on?
100%. And it's not so much the duties, it's all different kicks. When you're kicking a field goal, it's different. When you're doing a kickoff, it's different. When you're doing a punt, it's different. So he's doing so many different kicks, and he's can't become great at anything because he's just good at the other thing. So that's the scary part about him being a punter and being a kicker, trying to do all the duties. So we're going to see if we can separate that punting duty from him, but he's going to be our kickoff guy. He's going to be our field goal guy. And eventually we want him to have just be our field goal guy and bring another kickoff guy in. So we're excited about the guys that we have. We think they can help us out on special teams.
When you talk about your offensive line being nicked up, how does that change or play a part of the mindset going in regards to not being at full strength?
Well, the thing about the first game, you never really know what you're going to get anyway. So even though we may think we're not going in at full strength, we may be going in at full strength because we don't know yet. We haven't played this game. So the young men we have in there, they played. They've been a part of the team, so they've been playing in some games. It's just a matter of can they do it at a different position. Because we
Right.
had to move some things around because Ryan's not there, so we had to put some people here, some people there. But it's a situation. But can they do it at a different position? But they've been playing the whole time. It's just that we got to find out what do they do best in order for us to win the football game. But the thing about it, and I know, I'm trying to get the running game going before anything happens. So it's more importantly to make sure we get that running game going with Tyvon and DJ and with Julian, trying to get those guys on the right track and getting the ball down the field and let them light it up a little bit, before anything else happens.
And when you talk about lighting it up, and you said you mentioned that you brought in a couple of receivers. Um, Talk about how that not only helps Robert Morris, but then it also helps Noah now get those favorable matchups.
Yeah, 100%. And that's the thing we wanted to do. And like I said, we got another big guy in Andre Cooper who's been here, but those other two guys are speedsters. I mean, they're coming in here. Sean Charles has got some great speed coming from Arizona State, and my man Carl Smith runs some of the great route, some of the best routes I've seen anyone run. So I'm excited about these young men coming in here, and like you said, taking a little bit of pressure off of Noah. Now, understand Noah still gonna get his, and no doubt about it. We're gonna still get the ball to Noah as much as we can because, to be honest with you, this is probably, and I know we only had him 1 year. The camp he had was unbelievable because of those other guys that are here. I mean, Noah has worked harder in camp than I've ever seen him work in the spring before that, and the spring before that, and last year's camp. He's pushed himself because I think these guys have pushed him. And I think these guys are excited about playing together. That's the other good thing.
And I don't know, misspoke, but what I meant was that it opens up the field now to where Noah has those matchups that teams
Absolutely.
normally wouldn't be able to give him, right? Because now you have other options around him. Not to say that you didn't, but you have more options to
Mm-hmm.
where you're just not relying on a 1, 2, or maybe a 3. Where now you have 3 at one position, and then not to mention, oh, you never know which running back is going to get going, which running back is going to take over the game. So talking about how it opens up the offense to everything that you expected it to be last year.
100%. And I understood exactly what you were saying. I know you wasn't trying to put the other guys down. I understood that. But what I did forget, I forgot our guy, Coach Tyler. And let me tell you something, man. The tight ends he got, we got some tight ends. We got some
Yeah.
unbelievable. We got a young man by the name of Cole Mitchell. He came to us from Pitt. Landon Lucas is still here. So to bring Cole in now with that 1-2 punch with him and Landon has been great. Got another big guy, who's a sophomore, coming into this season. His name is Chaz Middleton. Chaz has looked outstanding on the field. And Coach Tyler's done a great job with those guys. Landon is a preseason, all-conference guy. Obviously, he had in Chase Jackson that was here last year. That young man was all-conference. So Coach Tyler's done a great job with those tight ends. So we can definitely open it up. We have more weapons that they have to look at as opposed to looking at the one weapon, like you said, with Noah Robson. I understood exactly what you were saying.
And coach, look, I'll be remiss if I didn't pause here, right? Because we want to talk about everything on the field, but everything that you expect and from the men off the field as well, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about your book, and we talk about not only you just being a coach, but you being an advocate for them to excel off the field. More importantly than if anything on the field, about becoming better young men, better husbands, better fathers. Can you talk about how you have, because you have a different group in this year, did you have to change any of those tactics or techniques that you normally may do with previous groups in regards to challenging them, not just on the field, but off the field?
Not really. I mean, our mission statement is going to stay the same. And I told the guys that during training camp, I said, guys, our mission statement is not going to change. You're either going to jump on board or you're not going to be here. That's what it boils down to because this is how I'm going to be as a coach. Because I told them I'm not here because I'm good. I'm here because of God. So it's
Yeah.
not a situation where I'm trying to make this happen or make that happen. This is strictly, this is the last thing, and I've said this to you several times, Chris, this is the last thing I thought I'd be doing coaching football. So to be here, there's a mission, there's a purpose that I have, and I'm going to do that through these young men. And if they
Yeah.
don't understand that and understand the growth that I'm trying to put in them, it's going to be a tough situation for them trying to survive at Robert Morris University, because it's just not going to be a place they like, because they're going to try to resist everything I'm doing. And we're going to keep this train moving. You're either going to move with this train or we get run over by this train. That's how I look at it. So I didn't change a whole lot. But the best thing about it is the guys that we had last year, they believe in it. They believe in the system that we have. They believe in, us working hard and being competitive and doing the things we're supposed to do. So it's a lot easier once your players start taking it over, as opposed to you trying to enforce it all the time.
And I appreciate it, coach. And I always mention that because everything that you pour into me outside of the interviews, when I need to talk, personally, you have been one of the most treasured, pieces, a part of everything that that it's just your constant. It's your prayers, it's your constant support, but it's the constant challenge to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Don't stop holding on. But strengthen everything else around it. So I hope that the gentlemen are listening, because everything that you have told me and shared, and allowed me to come to you with, it has helped me mentally through this phase and through this stage, as you know. But I
I
look forward
appreciate
to
it.
it, and the fact that his mindset, it speaks volumes, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
the mindset has to change. The mindset has to evolve, and just like on the field, off the field, your mind got to be quick. You have to adapt. You have to be able to maneuver. So when you're talking mindset going into a football game, it's that switch, being able to flip from whatever is holding you down, mentally, from a personal standpoint, as we always call it, organized chaos, legal violence, however we want to pronounce it.
Mm-hmm.
It's that moment that gives us. I now get to take it out on the other player. That's the mindset. I now get to dog the person across me.
The other thing, I got to take you back to our camp when we talk about word of the week. Our camp, our camp word was something I heard Doc Rivers say to his team years ago, and it's an African word. It's Ubuntu, and it means I am because we are. And what that boils down to is, in order for me to be the person I am, that means I got to believe in what we're doing. We got to do this
Yeah,
together. And so that was the word for camp. And so, like I said, that's why I try to instill that in them and help them understand that, hey, this is the word for camp. In order for us to be better, in order for us to be the best that we can be, I am because we are. And that's not just the players, it's also the coaches. And so that's
yeah,
the great thing about that situation. So that's why going through that, Ubuntu, and then having the right mindset, what's going to help you win football games. And again, like I said, it boils down to you believing in yourself. Just play your best, do the best you can do, and everything else to take care of itself. Do the things we're asking you to do. We're going to put you in the right position to make plays. Let's just go ahead and make those plays.
what are some? Do you see any challenges ahead of this game that you may not have, or not? It may not be a challenge, but something that something always arises that you have to adapt to. Um,
Not the only thing. This is what we got to adapt to. Is Utah State was the fifth fastest team in FBS football last year, so they got plays off faster than anybody. So, and now with the headsets being in the quarterback's helmet, and we don't
mm,
have that technology, but they have it at the FBS level. They can talk to the quarterback even faster. So they may be even faster than what we are. Now, the thing
um,
about that is we got to make sure our defense is set to where it needs to be at. Offensively, we can't try to be as fast as them. We got to be smart in what we're doing. The last FCS team they faced, they beat them 78-28. But
mm,
the last the left FCS, they tried to run at the same pace that they were running at. You can't do that. You got to understand your limitations as a team. And I don't mean limitations as in physical or anything like that. I mean that
right, right,
we got 45 scholarships, they got 85 scholarships.
right,
That's what we
right.
got to understand. We can't run a ball as fast as they run it, because they got more scholarships players than we do. So we got to be smart in how we go in and play. We got to go in there a lot like Montana State did, with New Mexico. Last
Yeah,
week they just played their game. We can't go in and play Utah State's game. We can't afford to play Utah State game. Utah State got bigger players. They got players
right.
a little bit faster. So it's on paper, and that's how things look. So in order for us to win, we got to do what our game plan tells us to do and play better. So those are the things that we're up against, and we're up against a very, very good football team. And I don't know, they've had some bumps and bruises, with the coach being let go and bringing in an interim coach like at the last minute, and some of the players, some of the top players jumping in the portal. But I'm sure they're going to try to overcome those things also. They got to make sure they
Right.
overcome those things. So they got some bumps in the road they got to take care of, but we got to take care of our business. We got to make sure we play clean in this football game.
This year you got way more home games than you had before. How exciting are you?
Oh, very exciting. I mean, just to be able to be home and play in front of the home crowd, you got 7 home games. It's an opportunity. And if we're playing the way I think we're capable of playing, it's going to be even more exciting because it's going to be more reason to come out and join us and hang out with us and have a good time and watch Bobby Moe put on a show.
Coach throwing out rhymes. Watch Bobby Moe put on the
Put
show.
on a show.
But but so tomorrow you have what walkthrough or you travel tomorrow?
We travel tomorrow. We'll leave tomorrow. We'll have a walkthrough once we get there. We're gonna go. We're flying to Salt Lake City, and we'll drive halfway. Then the next day we'll drive because I think it's like a 2-hour drive. So we'll drive like an hour and stay at a hotel, and then we'll head on to Logan on Saturday. The game's in the evening at 6 o'clock, so it's one of those situations. It's 8 o'clock here, so we get back a little late. But I just want to make sure our guys are well rested. Make sure everything's good. The thing that's probably scary, just what happened last year. The same thing with Air Force. It's 4,500 elevation is 4,500 feet, so we're way above sea level. So the
Mm.
altitude gets a little tough at times. But last year our guys were okay in Air Force. They didn't, we didn't need oxygen, anything like that. So I'm hoping the same thing happens this year.
And I was going to ask you that. How does the time difference play an effect on the body of the players who may not be used to that? Time difference and altitude.
The altitude's probably more of a significant play on us than anything else because the game's been played at 8 o'clock our time. So this is like the first time we play a late game, so we can play a late game. That's not the issue. To me, it's the altitude more than anything else, and then the atmosphere and the things along those lines. I worry more about our guys being in a crowd like they never been in before. Like the crowd last year at Air Force, you got 40,000, 50,000 people. A lot of our guys haven't played in front of them. We got some Division two
Mm,
guys, Division three guys who've never been in front of a crowd of 1,000 people, let alone 50,000 people. So I worry
yeah.
about that mental aspect of it and them taking so long to get into the groove of the game because they've got the big eyes and they got the wide eyes because they're excited. They're excited about it. So things like that worry, and that's when the altitude becomes a problem because now the anxiety, you're tired, and now you start breathing hard, and all those things become an issue when they really don't need to be an issue because it's like I told a young man, Julian White, that was at Delaware Valley last year. I asked him, I said, how long was the field in Delaware Valley? He looked at me, he's like, Coach, it was 100 yards. I said, exactly. It's 100 yards everywhere, baby. It don't matter where
Yeah.
you're playing at, it's 100 yards. That's the great thing about football. It's all played on an even playing
It's the field don't change, location do.
No, not at all. Field never changes. That's the great thing about it, and you still got to put the ball out there. The game is still played on the field, period. Not in the locker room, not in the chalk room, not in the board room or anything like that. It's still played on the football field. We got to go out there and do our best on Saturday.
What is the one thing you want your team to walk away and to exhibit in this very first game?
I want them to compete. That's always, you and I talked about that last year. I want them to go on that field and leave it all on the field. I want them to understand that when we leave a field, they're like, hey, man, that team gave it their all. Bobby Moe did everything they could to win that football game, but Bobby Moe did everything they could in losing that football game, but they're going to bust their behinds no matter what. I want to make sure we're competing. I don't want anybody to quit, give unbelievable effort, and let's see what we can do.
First play of the game,
Kickoff or
Noah.
kickoff return?
No, first play of the game. First play of the game because I
Uh,
think it's going to be a touchback. Opening kick going to be a touchback. First play,
okay.
I give it to Noah.
You gonna
I
get it to
gotta
Noah
get
for
I gotta get my guy out there, man. You know what I'm saying? I gotta throw Noah that love. Like the
Oh, I'm with
way
you.
the season that Noah had last year and the effect that he had, like for me, is thought provoking because it's like, man, so like if everything comes to fruition the way that it looked like it could, Noah, who had an outstanding season last year, could really benefit off that assistance because you were down quarterbacks, you were down linemen, you were down tight end, like you were down everywhere. So I think health and allowing the continuity between the teammates and the players once as the season go along, I think it definitely will propel you guys a long way.
I agree with you. I mean, and I'm with you. If we can get the ball to Noah on the first play, I think that's huge too because of who Noah is. And the thing about Noah, man, the thing I like about him so much, he is a genuine young man. I mean, he is always smiling, always in a great mood, never let stuff get him down. When he's on that football field, he is having fun. He has a passion for the game, and that's what I love about the young man more than anything else. And I don't know if he has an opportunity to play in the NFL or not. I have no idea, but I know Noah's given us everything he has here at Robert Morris University. He's playing, you know, unbelievable for us as a football player.
Absolutely. Now, Coach, before we go, this is the first
Okay,
episode of a new season. You gotta go ahead and give them your slogan, Coach.
I got you. No doubt. Hey, let's make this thing happen, man. Let's do what we do. Let's go out there and complete and play hard. We got what 12 more of these to do,
Yeah,
maybe plus, depending on how far we go, if we can make it to the playoffs or not. But we're going to push ourselves. We're going to give us everything we do. So make sure you show up, make sure you show out, and let's go, Bobby Moore.
y'all heard him, man. Coach Bernard Clark Jr. Robert Morris University is going down. Pitt Sports Zone, Bowie TV, Pitts and Push Sports Talk Radio. Y'all know what it is. Catch us live Saturday. Coach from Utah.